Soul Sister and Frankie Dettori win Epsom Oaks. Frankie Dettori's remarkable swan song continued as he partnered Soul Sister 114 to a brilliant success in the Bedford Oaks at Epsom to claim a second Group 1 on the day. There was drama before the Oaks began with Running Lion, a stablemate of the winner taken out of the stalls, and withdrawn to the obvious frustration of Oisin Murphy, who hurled his whip to the ground. Outsider Sea of Roses and Heartache Tonight were among those prominent, with Dettori anchoring the eventual winner in rear, spotting an advantage of several lengths to odds on favorite Sad Last Dance. The two market leaders had both run out hugely impressive winners of their trials, but the John and Thaddy Gosden-trained Soul Sister appeared to be traveling by far the better of the pair in the straight. Dettori made a big move from last, having rounded Tattenham Corner, but then looked to be holding Soul Sister together on the cambers with her suspect stamina in mind. In contrast, Ryan Moore was already urging Cheshire Oaks winner Save Last Dance along, and the two rivals were to the fore, passing the 2-furlong pole with Caernarfon fourth in the 1,000 guineas, the meat in their sandwich. Caernarfon kept on well, eventually losing her battle with Save the Last Dance for second, but by then Dettori was already celebrating a 7th victory in the Fillies Classic. The winning margins were 1 3/4 lengths and ahead, with the first 3 pulling 8 lengths clear of the remainder. Soul Sister was introduced into the betting for the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe at 141 by Sky Bet. John Gosden said, "She had a funny old draw, and Frankie saw early on he was going to be stacked 3-4 wide, so he dropped her back virtually to last, so she had to have the class to come down the outside and pass the whole field, which she did. I was really happy when he decided to drop her in and save ground. You can't go 3-4 wide round here and expect to win unless you're sort of 25 lengths the best. It was a great plan B in the straight. My only feeling was she was coming there nicely, but I had no idea if she would stay. The family have not got 1.5 miles, so I was naturally concerned she wouldn't stay. She showed a lot of speed in the Musadora, but she's come and done it extremely well and showed a great attitude. She hated the ground in the Fred Darling, so Frankie gave her a piece of work, which was very nice of him. She appreciated it. It was the right thing. It was heavy, it wasn't soft, it was bottomless, and she trained well and came up to the Musadora very well, and the rest is now history." Gosden and Dettori had already combined to win the Group 1 Coronation Cup with Emily Upjohn, and the trainer will have to juggle his 2-star fillies in the second half of the season, but Soul Sister has more immediate targets. I think anything from 1.25 miles to 1.5 miles would be fine for her. The obvious race is the Irish Oaks, but I wouldn't be frightened of any 1.25 mile race for her either, because she's got the gears. He continued. Emily Upjohn is probably 1.5 miles, but I think she could come back to an eclipse, but I wouldn't be afraid of coming back and trip with Soul Sister. She looked pretty cool in here. Gosden was able to reveal the events leading to Running Lion's withdrawal and reported that his filly was back in the stables and would be prepared for a second crack at a classic, but this time in France. She kicked out and caught her leg on the gate and scraped it, and they didn't want to run her, and they had to open the back gate and let her out. Then she got loose and we saw she was upset, he said. She's never done anything wrong in the gates. She's been like a pussycat. I think she was probably getting ready to go, caught her leg, so they've withdrawn her. She's absolutely fine. We'll get her rider home and go to the Prix Diane in 16 days. Dettori will retire later this year, but is reveling in a fantastic swan song season. It is mental. He said, "I will be honest with you, 3 Group 1s, 3 good rides to have 2 in the bag already with the Derby to go is crazy." She jumped good, and then I was looking for somebody to follow. I wanted to get behind Ryan, but William Book, jockey of Eternal Hope, already had that position, so then I thought, oh, Eisen is out of the way, and the ones to beat now is Ryan and William. So I parked myself behind William and wanted to try to get her to relax. The pace was honest, and then we come nearly out of Tattenham Corner. William just dived in front of me. She's got very little experience, so I thought even if I go a bit wide, at least I've got clean air to the straight, and then I had to avoid the other pacemaker and had to go even more wide. And then Connor Beasley, jockey of Caernarfon, came upsides me, and I didn't ask for my filly's ultimate effort. I thought, just bide your time and wait to just before the furlong marker, and I did. And then you're in the lap of the gods. She's going to go or not, and thankfully she did, and that was a great relief, and I was able to enjoy the screaming of the crowd. I loved it. Aidan O'Brien offered no excuses for Save a Last Dance, saying, She ran very well. She was flat out all the way, obviously totally different ground to what she ran on before, and when they handle soft ground as well as she does, you often think about going on better ground. But she ran a great race and got beat by a very classy filly. Ryan said she wasn't finished going to the line. She was still going there, so we're delighted with her run, really. I don't think so, that she's ground dependent. We'll see how she comes out of it. But she went on it. Obviously, she handles soft ground better than most, but it was still a very good run from her. Jack Channon, trainer of third-placed Cairnarfon, said at the top of the hill she was traveling so well, but you could see that Frankie was traveling just as well. We picked up just as well as her soul sister up until about the furlong pole, and she probably hasn't quite got up the hill. She's a very good filly. We're blessed to have her in the yard, and it's just a massive thank you to everyone in the yard who has done such a great job. They produce all of my horses to run so well, and I can't be more grateful for all the work they've done. And obviously to Stephen and Leslie Smith and their team at Hunscote Stud for believing in me and trusting me to go for the Oaks. Trust me, there was a lot of discussion about it. It's fantastic.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more updates.